Bam.
Oh, I'm supposed to say it? It's the
Yeah,
Seneca
you're.
Scott. Oh, okay. Sorry. I didn't know. And
Oh, good man.
this is the Break It Down show. Welcome
Yeah, hell
back.
yeah, man. Yeah, man. You welcome you back. You're the one that's back on the show, and I appreciate you talking to me. We get a lot of folks. So Oakland makes the news, and sadly, it's never for great reasons. It's always because of crime and mismanagement, and everything else. Obviously, you have big part, big critic of
Well,
former.
recently never for good reasons. We used to be a dynasty
Well,
with
that's
the
what I'm going
Golden
to
State
say. Yeah.
Warriors. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's really recent, right? But we have a mayor who's on federal charges, and the feds tend to not lose these things. So they are struggling to pay their bills. They lost 3 sports teams in the last 10 years. In general, Oakland hasn't had a good run. But you're right. I mean, look, talking about Tower of Power, the Sheila E, Juan, everybody, Yoshi's. There's all kinds of great things in Oakland. What's up? What's well up with Oakland, man? Why are we seeing so many problems? And let me just say this other thing here. And this is not in Oakland City itself, but if you drive on 24, which goes through Oakland, Seneca knows where this is. Man, there's anise weed growing in overpasses on top of the freeway, right? So not even Caltrans is doing their job to keep the city clean. What is going on over there?
Well, in Oakland, we have it's a multifold problem, but at the heart of it all is policy
Yep.
and culture. And Oakland is a science experiment. I mean, I can't. It is the incubation of nonprofit, public sector labor union, mega foundation nonprofits, dark money, foreign adversaries. All of that is here. Weaponized fentanyl. These policies are incubated and tested here before they're exported to other American cities with the intention of collapsing those cities. These policies are not meant to bring forth progress. And just like the progressive name suggests, everything they say is sort of a projection or hypocrisy. So, and here's my case, right? Because the entire East Bay is progressive. But what is so unique about Oakland, where the moment you drive into Alameda, San Leandro, Berkeley, or Emeryville, the graffiti goes away, the roads are in better shape, you see less for lease or for rent signs, it just feels and looks safer. No illegal dumping epidemic, no RVs and tents everywhere. What are these cities doing that Oakland's not, or what is Oakland doing that they're not?
Yeah, that's a good question. You and I both know when folks show pictures of Oakland, they're not going to East Oakland. That's for damn sure. My dad used to live out in East Oakland, and it's a harder place to live than look anywhere up on the hill, right? Why the disparity?
I mean, this is a multi-generational issue. Oakland's had a problem with government corruption for a while, but it really went off the rails once the progressives took complete control of the city. I guess they were trying to one-up the previous corrupt regimes or their corruption. But there's the thing, though. You can be corrupt and smart, but you can't be corrupt and stupid.
Mm.
I think another issue that we have in Oakland is that we have people who simply do not understand the job that they're in, who are hired, who are unqualified. Because the first thing that people do in power who are not good people, who intend to steal from you and abuse their power, is get rid of everyone who knows what they're doing. Because if you have a bunch of people around City Hall who knows how previous administrations conducted business, knows what best practices are, knows what Robert's rules of order are and how they're supposed to play out in a city council meeting. It's the really basic stuff here. You don't want those people around because they're going to constantly remind you and remind the public that you don't know what the heck you're doing. And so they get rid of all of those people and they replace them with loyal sycophants who are not qualified for the positions that they currently hold. That's one of the big issues. And you see this historically. I'll give you an example. I make a joke all the time. Oakland is forgetting how to build aqueducts, which is a play on ancient Rome. When Rome got so corrupt, they forgot how to upkeep their basic infrastructure that they had had in place for hundreds of years.
No.
So in Rome, they lost so much technology due to corruption and greed, they went backwards and they weren't able to service the basic functions of their city. Sounds like Oakland. We can't keep potholes filled. We have schools filled with lead. We have housing projects that basically should be torn down and condemned, that people are living with raw sewage. I mean, I could just go on and on about just how dysfunctional this city is. But at the heart of it is our leadership, and what's motivating them is corruption. It's not that complicated. They are stealing from us. They are stealing from us, and you have a bunch of people who are elected to office who simply have professed their own hatred for America. Think about that. Yeah. We are people in office who have professed hatred for America, who have blatantly told us, that oath I swore, I didn't really mean that.
No.
Every single one of them, except for maybe one or two examples who just joined, like Ken Houston, has violated their oath of office repeatedly. And there's no accountability, because in California, our Democratic Party crime family is from the top to the bottom. Gavin Newsom, he's in it. Rob Bonta, he's in it. Your state legislators, they're in it. There's very little daylight between any of these people, and they are a perfect circle for corruption. We don't have a seat at the table anymore as regular people. Our elections are stolen from us. It's just, I mean, I could go rant for hours, man, but it ain't good in Oakland. But what you're seeing in Oakland is coming to your city. So if you're sitting here laughing like, oh, they voted for it and all that crap, it's coming for you too. I don't care where you're at. You could be in the middle of freaking Wyoming. It's coming for you too.
Well, it came to Walnut Creek, and they had, crime coming there in that level that they couldn't handle, because Walnut Creek's supposed to be easy to police because folks aren't doing all that stuff. And when people realize that 20 minutes away is all this rich territory to rob shit, all of a sudden there's more crime. My brother's car was stolen out of his driveway. He didn't live anywhere near Oakland, maybe at 45 minutes away. But, they found that thing in San Leandro, not a bit of car left on it. So this does impact other neighborhoods. Bad policy. You and I both, I'm assuming you do, but we both know a bunch of Oakland cops. None of those guys are saying, hey, we're a model of law and order. The cops I know, they're like, I want to be here because this is where the action is, and they want action. So these are different kinds of cops. These are not policing cops who are like officer friendly. These are guys that want to get into the mix. That's part of I'm not saying the cops are part of the problem, but when that is the prevalent attitude about, and you and I both know also that we're hiring across the Oakland PD, that sign has been there for like 25 fucking years, man. So, it's a problem is throughout the city, and I don't know how you clean it up. I mean, who's had more police chiefs than Oakland has? Shit's a mess.
Floyd Mitchell's not horrible. I call him Texas Roadhouse. It's not horrible. He's from Texas. So, he's a traditional lawman. When I talk to my OPD guys and gals, they like him fine. He's handcuffed by our multiple police commissions in our city council. So we have multiple police commissions. We only need one. But to answer the question, how do you clean up Oakland? The electorate.
Okay.
You've got to replace a charter, but the charter is not as. The charter's a big deal, don't get me wrong. But I brought up the charter stuff in 2021 and everyone laughed at me. All of a sudden, in 2025, they want to act like the charter is the most important thing. That is trying to inoculate everyone for when we go bankrupt next year. They have a ready-made excuse. It's not our fault or our leadership. It's the charter that made everything dysfunctional. So we're not to blame for Oakland's bankruptcy. That's the only reason they're bringing it up now. They need one more excuse or scapegoat to buy them more time, because all they do is kick the can down the road. But that road ends next year. We're not going to be able to go past 2026 without declaring bankruptcy or doing something drastic. And so they're preparing for that by trying to blame it all on the city charter, which is the only reason it's coming up right now. So we do need to change the charter and add a controller. We need a strong mayor. Our mayor doesn't have line item budget veto or legislative veto. And we have an even numbered council. So we need an odd-numbered council, and we need a mayor that has some teeth. We need a controller office that operates independently, that can shoot down any legislation that is not fiscally responsible for the city. So they can look at it and say, we can't afford that. I'm not even going to let you pass that policy because it doesn't make any sense. We can't afford that. We don't have anyone there right now. And if you look at and I encourage all of your viewers or listeners to check this out, go to the Alameda County Grand Jury Report for 2025. The Alameda County Grand Jury Report is released yearly, and it's sort of like, here's things that all 14 cities of the East Bay, here's some of the things that could get you guys in legal trouble. Here's some of the things that people are complaining about that we've researched. And we're going to give you a gentle nod, fix this stuff before there's some accountability or consequences. This year, the Alameda County Grand Jury decided to focus pretty much solely on Oakland. It's basically saying that our financial acuity is so high and our city council has no clue. It's scathing. If you read it, you walk away thinking these people are idiots. How do they still have a job?
Yeah.
Not a single news story about this report. There was another one, the East Bay Economic Development. They had a Making Oakland Safe or Making Oakland Work. Same thing. Our city council does not have even the basic knowledge of municipal finance. They keep telling us everything's fine, but our own finance department is telling us, no, we're going bankrupt. And then they force them to pull those stories and retract them, doctor them, and then re-release them. It's absolutely a banana republic. And everyone in City Hall right now needs to take a long, hard look at themselves about what excuses are they going to have in 1 year when it's their fault that Oakland's gone bankrupt.
Who's the city manager in Oakland?
Justin Johnson.
What do you think?
No, we don't have a city manager. We have a city administrator.
Okay.
Chief city administrator, Justin Johnson, who hired from Shin Tile. Again, she's one of those hires because she doesn't know what's going on. She got rid of Ed Reskin, who had been here 20 years. I didn't like Ed, but he had there's a continuity of government thing there. But I wasn't a fan. But he at least knew some historical stuff. Joe DeVries is still there, I believe. They fired LaTonda Simmons, who is one of our most solid city administrators. Barbara Lee did that for no reason whatsoever. But Justin Johnson comes from a small town in Georgia, 50,000 people max. He has no clue. He was basically brought in to rubber stamp everything that Shin Tao's corrupt administration was doing, and he did so, including the Coliseum style and a lot of other things that may get him into some legal problem in the very near future.
How does a city with an ocean port go broke?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Oakland has an ocean port, right? How in the world does it go broke? How can it not just make all the money it needs? I mean, I know there's not a lot of big business in Oakland, right? They've chased all that out, but there's still a port there. You're supposed to be able to keep a city thriving if you have a port.
Yeah, well, we don't have a city council that actually understands the port and how to make money. I'll give you one example. I have many. The coal lawsuit. There was a company 9 years ago that signed an extensive lease with the city of Oakland to build a bulk coal terminal. The lease was $1 million a year, just shy of $1 million a year, and it would have brought subleases in as well as thousands of jobs to that area. Yeah. City of Oakland fought it for 9 years and lost. Not only did we lose, I'm talking about $30 million plus in legal fees, ours and theirs. $10 million in missing rent because we didn't collect. $9 million in missing rent. And on top of that, one of these subleases, one of the other companies formed to ship coal, Insight Terminal Solutions went bankrupt. Now they're suing Oakland for $1 billion in Kentucky bankruptcy court. We're going to lose that case because we lost the other case. They're connected, and we're going to go bankrupt next year. This is why I keep telling everyone, it doesn't matter what they do to try to patch our budget together. It doesn't matter if we pass another taxes. Right now, the budget that Oakland just passed requires taxpayers to approve yet another tax in a special election next year, or we're bankrupt. So they're betting that we will approve this tax measure. Basically, blackmailing us. Like, if you don't approve this, you're bankrupt.
Yeah.
But it won't matter if we're that close to bankruptcy, and then we get hit with $100 million, $200 million judgment. It's a wrap. So Oakland's going bankrupt next year. I've told everyone, just remember who told you. And if I decide to run for mayor again, remember who's the only one who seems to know what the heck is going on in the city of Oakland, because it ain't anybody in City Hall.
There's so many problems that you just talked about. And Oakland has always kind of been on the precipice of this breakout where someone thinks they have the answer. You know, like you and I, again, we both know about this stuff. So I'll just say this out loud. Jack London Square has been up and coming as long as I've been alive, you know? And so I'm not saying it's the same as it always has been, but Yoshi should be a giant joint filled with great people. And it's just a regular sized joint. It hasn't boomed like a city that's like doing well and packing places, right? So why does Oakland, I don't know, do we just eat our own in Oakland? Look, I don't live there, but I've got a lot of family there. I've grown up there a lot. So why does Oakland eat its own so much? Why is it so internally competitive to its own demise?
Culture of corruption.
Okay.
We put a street sign up for Too Short.
Yeah. Yeah.
Too Short glorifies pimping.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we honor pimps. I mean, I don't mind Too Short's music, but I wouldn't name a street after him. It's like naming a street after your favorite bad guy in a movie.
Yeah.
After the villain, like, we're gonna name this street Darth Vader. Like,
yes, it's you're right. I mean, I love the short dog, and I love to say the big dick pimp is in the house. I think that's a great lyric. I say that shit all the time. Also, you know, Oakland named that corner Escovedo after Sheila E. and the whole Pops and the whole family. Fuck all showed up from Oakland. There should have been 1,000 people there. How in the world can Oakland not turn out for Sheila E., Pops, Peter, all those guys? The incredible.
Because what's Oakland? See, now you're going to hit to the heart of the issue here.
All right, let's do it.
We're in gentrification 2.0.
Okay.
With the first round of gentrification, brought in lots of transplants like myself. I came here in 2012. This house you see me in is a huge Victorian on Peralta Street. A whole family could live here, but me and my girl live here.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So there's that. Gentrification is the displacement of people and culture, not the arrival of new people and new resources. And they're not by nature or default mutually exclusive, but typically they work in tandem. So Oakland's culture is being displaced. Our people have been displaced. What's left is a performative culture where they act like they care about Oakland. They cosplay as Black Panthers. They say that they honor the Black Panthers, and then they demonize gun ownership. There's a lot of like contradictions here, right? So what the Oakland you speak of is no longer here. And the reason you have the government you have is because gentrifiers are voting them in. That's it. Oakland's not the Oakland of 20 years ago anymore. A lot of people have been displaced, or not displaced, they just left. A lot of people are like, I don't want to stay here anymore. I'm out.
Yeah. I was about to say, go over a couple mountain ranges, not very far in that part of the world, and you're going to find a lot of Oakland in Tracy, Stockton, Modesto, all that, just out in that corridor out there, because they were priced out by. I used to move people back in the 2012 timeframe, and I would move people that had saved up enough money to go live right by where you're talking about, and they had no clue what they were moving into. They had starry eyes about stuff, and I'm like, y'all know where you're living, right? Like, you got a gun. Like, why would I ever have a gun? I'm like,
well, when I came to Oakland, it was on I would have to say 2014 to 2019 on the up and up.
Yeah.
But we had a lot of pride because the Dubs were winning. I think a big part of it is because we had, and that put Oakland's culture. We have an extremely vibrant culture. Our art, music, and food scenes are unparalleled. across the world. People come here
Yeah.
for that. It's a
Yeah.
major tourist attraction. So when you combine that Oakland culture with the championship Golden State Warriors, it created an ecosystem of just up and coming city. Things were getting safer. Our crime metrics were indeed coming down. You could see it. But then in 2019, Progressive took complete control of city council. Right after that, things start falling off a cliff. If you don't believe me, go to Google Maps and look at East 12th Street in 2018. Then look at it in 2019 to now. It's completely different. Go to Middle Shoreline Park. Look at Google Maps in 2018. Then look at Google Maps from 2019 onward. And I can say that for several sections of a city, it was the progressive takeover of city council, the anti-police policies, the nonprofits grifting, sucking out all the money that should be used to actually do things with, giving those core services to nonprofits who don't do them and perform them correctly. And then we started our descent. So Oakland was on the up and up, and we will be on the up and up again if we can change our electorate, because we have perfect weather, a port, great people, although those people are shrinking. But am I optimistic about Oakland? No, not at all.
Yeah, it sucks, man. That sucks. I used to go to maybe you remember this place. I used to go to Sen's. Technically not in Oakland, but across the street is Oakland, so it's Oakland to me. But it's over on it was over on I guess what's that, Palo Alto over there maybe? Anyhow. And it was a great restaurant, soul food restaurant, the kind of restaurant where I walk in, they're like, what's that guy doing in here? Then they'd serve me up a mess of wings and everything. And you're right, back then it was a little bit better than it is now. But still, back when I was moving and doing odd jobs, if I wanted to ditch something, I go to Oakland. If I wanted to get rid of an old mattress, I go to Oakland. And not because I wanted to break the law and ditch something, but because I probably could find someone that would take a used mattress because they didn't have, whatever they had, that was going to improve their condition. If I had an old TV, I'd drive around in my truck and be like, who wants an old TV? You know? And so that, it always got rid of stuff. If it was trash, I took trash to the dump. But if I thought it had value, I went to Oakland because there was folks who needed stuff and were glad to take it, whatever it was. Might be an old table or something like that. Like a perfectly good kitchen table that folks don't want anymore. Man, I'll just take that to Oakland. That's the kind of place that Oakland is if you know the right places to go. And again, as good as it might have been back then.
Now they just dump it off on a corner.
Well, yeah.
I mean, one of our biggest issues is illegal dumping. If it wasn't for the illegal dumping, our morale would be a lot higher. The illegal dumping feeds into the graffiti. So the graffiti, the illegal dumping, just the squalor, it's
the
got
abandoned
out
cars.
of control. The abandoned, where the cars are stolen and then abandoned. So we need to simply catch a few people and make examples out of them. Yeah. Okay, we need some stockades. Not like, I mean, maybe we wouldn't do these stockades, but we need to basically perp walk a few people. We need news stories that we're confiscating vehicles. We should have zero tolerance policy for illegal dumping. If you get caught illegal dumping in Oakland, I don't mean throwing a Dorito bag out the window. Yeah. That's bad. That's bad too. That should come with a stiff fine. But real dumping, let's say anything over 50 pounds, you should get immediate vehicle confiscation. Yeah. You should lose your vehicle. Yeah. It should be taken from you. That's what they did in Detroit, Michigan. That's how they stopped illegal dumping. They just took the car or your truck, very first time, first offense. So come on over here with your $100,000 dump truck if you want and dump it. And we're going to be confiscated it and auctioning it off. And they're going to lose it because that's the penalty for the crime. And so we need to have some extremely aggressive penalties. When you're driving down the side of a road and you see illegal dumping fine $10,000, it makes you think twice about dumping.
Yeah. And just, I want to be clear to everybody. I wasn't dumping trash. I was getting rid of things that other people consider trash, but still had value. And so
you were clear. You said you would drive around and people would take it.
Yeah. I just want to make sure I make that because someone will take a clip and make me say something I didn't say, man.
He admitted to driving. No, they'll clip it out. He admitted to driving around and dumping stuff.
Yeah. So when you talk about this the other day, I don't know how much you watched, but the president was talking about taking over DC and federalizing it so we can get it under control and knock down the crime and everything. And he name checks Oakland. And man, it broke my heart a little bit because I'm like, God, it's Oakland shouldn't be this way, right? Like you said, so many advantages. A fucking port. The weather's beautiful. A lot of the city is gorgeous, right? Where they seem to care about it.
California Highway Patrol brought the crime down significantly. We could be using there's enough county, federal, there's all types of law enforcement right here that if they wanted to form any type of multi-agency task force to actually do any sort of real investigation and catch these illegal dumpers, we have 72-hour RV parking laws already. Enforce them. Tow the RVs after 72 hours. Put them in a lot, but they can't get it back, then auction them off or destroy them. Yeah. Right? Stop all this fake compassion that's compassionate for people who are not upholding the social contract and terrorizing their neighbors. Yeah. And they're not showing any compassion for the masses of us who are upholding the social contract and who do care for our neighbor. The priorities are out of whack. They're prioritizing the lives and experiences of people who aren't from here, don't care about Oakland, who move here because of our lax laws, our cheap drugs, and our lack of enforcement. And so if you know that you could go to an encampment and the police aren't going to be in there, you know how many people who are on the run from murders and capital crimes in other cities and states and countries have come to Oakland who are in those RVs because they're safe there from any type of investigation? That's insane. Yeah. We have to live with that. The number of child predators. I mean, there's no way you could break these things down and argue that it's okay. So what they do is they deflect. Oh, Orange Man said they were giddy. The progressives were giddy with excitement. So when the rest of us saw that, we were like, oh, man, Trump, bro, shut the fuck up, man. You're not coming to Oakland. Like, stop it, bro. We can handle this stuff ourselves, that we just start arresting people. We don't need the National Guard. We need to take the handcuffs off our own police, which is whatever.
Yeah.
They were like, yes, we can talk about Trump for the next 3 months and no one's going to hold us accountable for our children not being able to read or our streets being open at dumps and drug markets and our entire city looking crazy. We don't have to worry about fixing anything. We could just type Trump all day, and then the matches of Oakland's idiots like Lemons will continue to support them because so many voters here have TDS. And I don't like Trump.
Yeah, no, me neither. But, here we are. But I hate being forced to defend him, too, when he gets things right. But when you can't be better than Trump, guess what? Trump's better. It's just terrible. It's terrible that we're in this predicament.
They're doing this on purpose. They're doing this on purpose. No way in the world do progressives have the exact same cookie cutter policies, rhetoric, funding sources, language, the same looks. It's a cult. They've exported this product into multiple U.S. cities, and they are all failing the exact same way.
Yeah.
Wake up.
Yeah, I mean, there's some real hard news. Like if you want to prevent murders and shooting deaths, there's a demographic that does it the most, and they kill them. Look, I'll just say it. If you go to Chicago and you look up who's killing black kids, it's going to be black kids, right? And so either they want that to happen in Chicago or they don't. I'm not trying to be in any way racist. I'm just stating the actual facts.
No, they want everyone to kill themselves. That's what gentrification 2.0. Yeah. So if you pull up a clip from Boys in the Hood, gentrification 1.0, you just pull it up on YouTube. I don't know if you do that screen sharing here, but it's only like a 2-minute clip. It's the exact same thing happening now in a different way, except the people who are perpetrating it call themselves progressive. But the end of it, it's a land grab.
Yeah.
You destabilize the city, property values plummet, then you come and buy it up for cheap, and you create your 15-minute cities that they're after right now.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
It's the same thing everywhere. So, this is you have to look at it for what it is. This is 5th generation warfare. We are at war with China. We are at war by default with the BRICS: Brazil, Russia, India, China, South America. South Africa, I'm sorry.
Mm.
Now, we're not at war officially with the whole BRICS, but we are absolutely at war with China. Fifth generation warfare is non-kinetic, not bombs and missiles. It's the kids can't read anymore. The nutrition is down. The people are stupid. We did it to China. The opium wars, we destabilized that entire country by flooding them with cheap opium.
One of the challenges, California loves diversity until it comes to political diversity. I'm not a Republican, but if you only have one way of thinking about solving problems and that shit don't work, you default to, well, we got to try harder. And so you keep trying harder on the thing that ain't working. And you do end up in these bad spots. And the entitlement to take money out of the government, man, oh man, it is a tempting
Well, I want to speak to more about the trends, because what you said is important, and it's something that people like to tap dance around. Here's the issue. It all comes down to economics.
Okay.
Here's the evidence I provide. If you go to Appalachia, 99% white.
Mm-hmm.
Because they've been in generational poverty for so long, all of their crime metrics, white on white crime, incarceration rates, single family households, mimic poor Black communities.
Yeah.
And if you go to affluent Black enclaves, there aren't a lot, but there are enough in Atlanta, in New York, Long Island, or DC, parts of Southern California. Same metrics of crime as rich neighborhoods. And so what you're seeing is generational poverty, neglect, lack of nutrition and education leads to violence.
Yeah.
But there's another wrinkle. One thing that's not talked about enough is the music. And we know that Black music was weaponized by the government in order to create a more violent culture. The most popular music amongst young men especially is a very violent music. I know because we listened to that same kind of music when I was coming up. Now, it's less introspective and more violent now, but that's nostalgia. There was music that was just as low vibration and violent when I was 17. Master P had a song, Time to Check My Crack House, right? And the hook was, time to check my crack house, my crack house, my crack house. Time to check my crack house. So don't act like it was like, we've been doing this shit 20 years.
Sure.
They've been putting this garbage music and supporting it. That type of psychological operation can be run on any person of any race.
Yeah.
And so, and you've seen it, right? So I think it's much less of a racial issue than class, but race is involved because in America, our divide and conquer strategies involve the use of longstanding, I won't say a feud, but issues between Blacks and whites because we have 400 years of chattel slavery. Now, less than 5% of white Americans had slaves. I think it was like 2%.
Sure.
But we also had a culture where in the 1950s and 60s, everyone was fine with segregation. And it was a racist country. We did a lot to get out of that, but that trauma is inherited in our mitochondria, if I'm saying that word right. It's inherited in our very DNA, but it's also inherited culturally. And so America made tremendous strides in the 70s, mostly through arts and music. 60s, 70s, 80s, going into the 90s, were a decade of racial healing. A lot of people were sort of getting rid of that sort of thing. It was sort of isolated in certain parts of the Deep South or places like, but for the most part, I mean, a great documentary to watch to illustrate this is the We Are the World documentary. The making of We Are the World, and how they had to get all of these artists together, and how it was Black artists in charge of this. And like it was, I mean, look at the art of the 90s and how the most popular TV shows were Black families. It wasn't the most popular black TV show. The most popular shows in America were the Cosby Show and Different World and Fresh Prince. So people were watching black lives and black experiences, and it was helping to have an enormous amount of racial healing. And then they undid it all because they were like, we don't want that. If these people all get united, they're going to realize that we have a uniparty and that we're using racial, angst to divide people who should be uniting together. And then now they're adding in Palestinians and immigrants and South Americans. Everything is to keep us divided into smaller boxes so that we all hate each other, don't find commonality, and we can never really truly organize in order to overthrow our oppressors, who come in all races. Every country's elite right now that has any money is involved in this global cabal. Asian countries, African countries, Indian countries, they are not the people. The leadership, for the vast majority, are all corrupt.
I mean, it's an exchange of power, right? And you don't want to give someone who doesn't have power. And so, you end up in a cabal and you make decisions together. Even if you don't mean to be in a cabal, there you are. One of the interesting things to me about how the Bay works, especially the East Bay, they struggle to reliably bring in bigger businesses to take some of the tax burden on. We're seeing Benicia lose their refinery. That's going to be a big hit for a little town. And they act like it's going to be no big deal. But by my count, they'll lose $1 million of local catering because that refinery is going to be gone. $1 million from restaurants. And it's not that many restaurants in Benicia and Martinez and Concord that can withstand that. So these are big hits. And when the coal company that you're talking about, and look, I get taking care of the planet, but we still need coal, we still need oil, we still need asphalt, we still need plastic, right? So instead of being like, we're going to lead the world in this, pay people well, use science to our advantage, and continue to, have a world leading policy. Our policy, actually, the next guy on the show right after you, right when we hit the top of the hour, James Rector from Berkeley, is going to talk about how we don't understand enough about our oil stores to reliably legislate how we're going to deal with it. And getting rid of it isn't going to be the solution, because we still need this stuff. So it's always going to be more expensive. One of the things that I realized is that because we're so singular, so homogenous in our politics, that we become conservative, not because of the ideas are not progressive. The ideas are progressive, but everything has rights. And so you end up in court for everything. And the system fights itself in a way that if you go to Berkeley, I don't know how Oakland is, but I imagine it's probably the same. If you go to Oakland, it's really tough to pull a permit. And so many people have been non-permitted in their construction. They're like, nobody ever gets a permit now. Like they won't do it. And so I know inspectors, and all these people, when they're like, hey, I can
go broke. You're broke. Go broke waiting.
Right. Yeah. And they won't give you the permit. So they build it anyhow. Right. And so here's what happens for everybody watching. The inspectors, when they get a chance to go out to a house, if they dare to put a red tag on a house, those people, and I like to use this as an example because it's a real example, these lesbians will take Berkeley to court and they'll kick Berkeley's ass. And they'll be like, we never red tag lesbians' houses again. That becomes the new policy. And so the homes don't get safer. They get more dangerous because less, and shake your head because you know how it is.
They cut corners because they're over. I mean, people don't even come to work in Oakland in these departments anymore. They have flex work. They never fully returned back from COVID era, work from home. We have archaic systems. I mean, our systems are like late 80s, early 90s level technology in Oakland. We're still using like some old Oracle stuff from like the 90s. So we haven't, modernized technology yet, which is an issue, which is why our systems are vulnerable, which is why we had a ransomware attack last year that we're still vulnerable for another one. I mean, we lack competency because corruption doesn't care about competency. Their job is to extract as much wealth and resources as possible from the city, not run the city accordingly. And back in the days, you had people who the culture was, hey, you have to do your job before you steal.
Yeah.
You can't steal until the potholes are filled, fill all the potholes, do all the stuff you're supposed to do, and then whatever's left, you steal from that. And now they're like, just steal it all and make excuses for why everything is bad. Yeah. And while both are corrupt, one is obviously worse than the other. But the second one comes from those people watching. So everybody who was watching Libby and Kaplan were corrupt. They did all types of shady stuff, but they were sophisticated about it, and they made sure to hire city managers and stuff like that who knew what they were doing, right? And so they were able to hide a little bit. But if you're one of the people watching, you're like, Libby Schaff is corrupt. She's doing all these things. If I ever get in power, I'm going to make me some money too. But the part you forgot is that at minimum, Libby knew how to run a city.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I won't say Libby because she wasn't that great, and neither was Jean Quan. But she was better than a lot of these issues we have started with Libby's administration.
Yeah.
They were. Libby had 8 years, and it was not a good 8 years.
Well, the guy right before then was Jerry Brown. You'd think a guy that
no, before then was Jean Quan.
That's true. Yeah, Quan was there. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Either way, you would think Jerry Brown could run a city.
I wasn't here.
Yeah.
But I do know that when he was here, he built downtown, got built up. Gentrification part 1 started under Jerry Brown.
There you go. Okay.
So that's what a lot of people were sort of getting displays. And then you had, 2008 happened 10 years after he got in. So that wasn't exactly his fault. But Jerry Brown was a net positive by far for the city of Oakland. It was competent. We had our sports team. Businesses were still coming. We were stabilizing from a very violent 1990s. So we were coming out of that high crime era. I wasn't here, so I can only speak from talking to people.
Well, he for sure said no way the A's are getting a new stadium, though. So it's not all perfect with him, and there were some. Well, it doesn't matter. I don't want to get into Jerry Brown's career.
But we should have put the stadium in Jack London. We would have been
ages ago. Yeah, ages ago. Yeah.
Hey,
I don't want to take all your time, and I got to make sure I'm on time for James. What do you want to wrap up here in the last like 4 or 5 minutes? What's the important thing for folks to understand about Oakland? What do you want to say to the people of Oakland?
Oh, I mean, I said, watch Gotham Oakland so you can find out what's really going on. There's a lot to know and a lot of homework, but know who your elected officials are. You have 5 elected officials. Every single person in Oakland has 5 elected officials that report directly to them. You have your council person for your district. You have your at-large council person, who we forget all the time, who covers all the districts. You have your mayor. You have your city attorney. You have your city, not accountant, what is it called? Not controller.
Comptroller?
We don't have a comptroller, city account. It's
Why
not accountant.
One of those.
Accountant, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Right.
It's elected. So there are 5. Communicate with them. Email their staff. Express either you're happy or you're not. If you're happy, you should let them know too that they're doing a good job. But you should know who these people are, and you should seek to engage with them wherever possible. Simply tweeting to Nextdoor. I'm sorry, I just said tweeting to Nextdoor. That makes no sense. Either posting to Nextdoor. Twitter's not as good for politics, but sure, X if you want to post on X. But Nextdoor and Facebook and Reddit, don't underestimate the power of a post saying that this person and naming names, these people are not doing a good job. If more of us were doing that, it would put a tremendous amount of pressure on them. Don't be worried about the online anonymous account bullies that will come out to defend these people that probably work for them, stealing taxpayer time to violate your First Amendment right. Ignore the anonymous burners. They're only there to try to bully you and manufacture consent. Ignore them. Post from your real account. I am not happy with your real face. I am not happy with this person's performance.
Yeah.
And here's why. And here's how I've tried to reach out to them. And here's been the lack of response or accountability or communication. If we just had a few thousand people doing that in Oakland on a regular basis, it would leave them very little place to turn because the public will would now start to turn against them. So get involved.
There you go.
You don't have to go out and protest, but you can at least post something.
I appreciate that. Man, let's come back and do this again soon. Maybe even face to face if I get back out to Oakland next time and get a few minutes. Always great to have you on. It's always an education too, because the things I think I know about Oakland, you've got it right down. It's on your street, it's your life. So it's cool to be able to hear from you. And hopefully we can get some better news next time. We are always talking about bankruptcy and corrupt officials, but I guess that's where we are.
I hope one day, man. Yeah, I had so much fun in Oakland from 2012 to 2020, really, when the pandemic started. And even a little bit after that, it was a great time. And it's a shame to see what's happening to the city, but I know that we still have, a small window of chance to get things back on track.
Yeah. Well, let's hope for that. Everybody, Seneca Scott, follow him on X. Just type in Seneca Scott. You'll find him. Seneca Scott 21 on X. Good place to talk to him. I will talk to you later. I got Jim popping in the window now. So,
No
Seneca,
problem.
I'll talk to you soon.
Have a good one.
Thanks, brother. Bye-bye.